Good morning. Okay, I've bought this, I suppose it's a deer head, but I bought this a while back and I've always wanted one of those, bohemian style deer head, faux taxidermy deer head on the wall in my beauty room. So this is what I got at the dollar store for $4. It's not bad. It's a fairly good size. They also have them in silver. Um, but I wanted to have this one plain white because my beauty room, it's mainly white with some pinks and teals and things like that. So I wanted to do something a bit, a bit more in style with the theme. So it's got a few little bits here and there you could just sort of snip off with some side snips. I mean, it's the dollar store, right? So it's not going to be in the greatest shape, but it's got these little hooks in the back. Anyway, I'm going to alter it because otherwise I wouldn't have a video. So there's that. I'll use those later. I just use the smaller glass plate for my palette because my other craft mat is sort of out of commission at the moment, so I have too much stuff on it. So I'm just going to paint it. Now, I'm not overly concerned about covering it all up. I kind of like the idea of it showing through, but I don't want it to be 100% brass or any one color. So you could do this with chalk paint. I don't have any chalk paint, and you can make your own these days, but I don't know. We are going to go with just plain old craft paint because it's what I have on hand. You can buy chalk paint just about anywhere these days. You can get it at Michael's, I believe, as far as I can tell. You could sponge this on if that's the effect you want it, instead of a brush, but I kind of like the brush strokes in this case. I'm going to leave the black because I don't want it to mark up my walls when I hang it up. So I'm just going to put it on with just a regular old brush on one side. So I have bought these, well, I bought this one at the dollar store, and then at the same time I have bought flowers that I wanted to hot glue gun on here. I had thought about just, making like a little flower garland on elastic or on wire so that it could, change it out as you want it for the seasons. But I don't know. I think I'm just going to hot glue gun it on and just, leave it as is. I think it'd be easy to change if you just pull them off. I mean, the hot glue gun is not overly permanent, so which is kind of what I like about it. Because you could just pop them right off again. And of course, you can do this, you can spray paint these, obviously, if you wanted a more, better coated version of what I'm doing. But I don't know. And I might wipe some of this off with a tissue. I kind of like the imperfect look. I don't know what it is about it. There's something, it just looks like it's been around for a while, and it just lends itself to being a bit more artistic, I suppose. As to, I've seen these with all glitter, which I thought were really cool, but for me that's a bit much. So anyway, I would tend to let this dry a little bit more, but again, like what I wanted was a bit more of like a brushed look. So I'm going to take some of it off. I just don't want it to be too stark. Had I just, spray painted it or whatever, it would be just fine. But I want it to look like it's, maybe wood that's been painted. And also this will help speed the drying process a little bit so that when I go to glue my flowers on, it won't look too, you know, awkward. So yeah, I like that look. It looks more like whitewashed wood now, to me anyway. I don't know how the camera's picking it up. You could apply this with the paint with, you know, a tissue if you didn't have a toothbrush, paintbrush, hello. So you could, you know, potentially just, or even a sponge, you know, because the ears are a little bit different, but that's okay. And if you want it more showing of the brassy color underneath, you can obviously go over it with a baby wipe and do that. I like that. I kind of like the, you know, the idea of some of that a little bit shinier coming through, which you totally can with the tissue. So you can highlight certain areas a little bit more than others. So it looks like it's been touched in certain areas, you know, maybe for good luck. We could all use a little bit of good luck. So I would tend to leave it at that. I like that. So it's not too, you know, in your face kind of thing. And then the flowers I have bought at the dollar store are these ones. So I could do colors for spring or whatever, right? But I wanted to do something that would match my room. So I have a lot of pinks and grays and whites and whatnot else. So I don't know. Like these are wired together. So with a couple of, you know, little side snips, or these are not really heavy wires. You could probably use some old scissors to cut these apart. I think that would do just as well. You could paint these if you just had plain white ones, of course, or you could dip them into some paint and then let them dry, and then they'll look like porcelain flowers if that's what you wanted to do. But I just wanted to do a few, maybe not the peachy color, because it's going to hang above my pink mirror. So I love this green, and I might just do a teal. Green and teal? I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. You could obviously do whatever you like. So I'm just going to snip these off. I do like that they're on wire, so you could potentially, you know, wire them on if you wanted to. Not have it permanent, or if you don't have a hot glue gun. You know. Oops. Sorry, little guy. I do like this pink, but maybe this corally kind of color. It's not really a pink, which is nice. If I had some different sizes, it'd be better, but I don't have any different sizes. I have my hot glue gun ready. So let's see, what can we prop this up with? Since I've had these here for a while. That is not going to work, is it? Alrighty, we'll hold it. It's fine. So it's just a question of applying the flowers. You can go as wild as you like, obviously. You can spread these out a bit. I mean, they're just paper flowers, so you can spread them out a bit and make them look as full bloom as you want, or as small as you want. That's okay too. And just when you're starting a project, you know, you run out of glue. That's all right. Now I got more. Just have to hold them in place a little bit. Tons of glue. Look at that. I actually came prepared this time. Go figure. Oh, this is the wrong size. There we go. I think I have a couple of different ones mixed up in there. So I will end up putting some in there because you just sort of hold them in place. I could have made my own flowers. I could have, yes, obviously. That would have been quite nice too. But for the sake of expediency, you know, I decided to go this route. And you could put chains on the horns and things like that and hang jewelry off of it. I think that would look really pretty too. I need one more. I want to do the pink one. This one's a bit lighter. Let's go in 3 colors. Very bohemian looking. I really like that. Now, I do have some gemstones. I have some turquoise actually that I can put on there. I might just do that. Because I really do like the look of the bohemian style for this. So I think something, it's too big. Let's see. More in a teardrop shape, just in here. Yeah, I think so. Not too much so it's not all spilling out. You want to sort of center it a bit. This will hold with hot glue gun, that's fine. Hot glue will work for this, and if it falls off I can just put it back on there. It's not exactly center, but that's okay. It's the bohemian look, right? I have a few of these. I haven't really used them in any other project yet, so I thought it would look really kind of cute on here. Just sort of tuck it in a bit. Above the eyebrow. Very Frida Kahlo-esque. Yeah. But I think it really does suit it. And this one's not quite centered, so I'm going to move it over a bit. That's okay. See, it just pops right off and pops right back on again. So you can always paint that white if you wanted to later on. The glue part, not the stones, obviously, because that would defeat the purpose. There we go. Just take off the little stringy bits. You could put something on there, of course. I don't know if I'd put more of these stones on there. Probably not. But that doesn't mean you can't use something else. I mean, you could put some bling on there if you really wanted to, I suppose. I don't know. I think I would tend to leave it like this. You could add, you know, greenery, or, you know, again, if you wanted to make it more bohemian, when it's hanging, you can see if you can hang like a piece of chain off of it. Let's see. Which would be quite cute. An old necklace or something like that. I'll show you maybe something like this. Just a little bit of chain. You could do old chain, like an older look or whatever. Or you could do something like this, with a bit of drape to it, of course. You know. Now when you're hanging it, it'll have a better presence, but yeah, just something like that with a stone in the center if you wanted to. But I think I would just leave it like this. You could use like a bit of chain like this, which would be quite pretty because it's an old bronze style chain. You could just glue it right up at the top in the center, right here, and then just sort of, oops, let it fall if you wanted to. Shorten it, and then let it drape there like that. I would just tend to leave it like this, I think. Oh, it looks quite cute. Very bohemian. Different for me, for sure, but I like how it turned out. I just really, you know, wanted something different for my beauty room. So yeah, if any of you are interested in a beauty room tour, let me know in the comments down below and I can do that. But I thought that would look really cute in there. Obviously, you can glitter this if you wanted to. You could leave it plain. You can do whatever you like. You could do all stones on there, sequins. I thought this was quite pretty. You can make your own flowers. I've shown you in other tutorials how to make your own paper flowers, but I saw these at the dollar store and I really love the colors. So it's very bohemian. I like how it turned out. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.